It's a wonderful day, so perfect day to go to a park. And I got here like walking from home, and it took me like 20 minutes, something like that. And I'm waiting for my wife and kid that actually decided to go with the public transport. And they're not here yet. Hey, where are you? At the main entrance. I mean, seriously. All right, I'll be right there. 2 minutes. Yeah, it was my wife, and they're waiting for me at another exit. My bad, misunderstanding. This park is not huge, but it's not small either. And I'm supposed to go all the way to another exit, which is at the other end of the park.
Found you, finally!
Yeah! Here she is. Michael?
Michael is there playing with the little girl.
All right. Michael. So we made it. We can have some fun here in the park. And, but I'm supposed to make a video. Okay, just give me 1 second. What's up guys, Dan from Lenny here, and welcome back to a new video. If you're new to the channel, there's one thing you need to know. I make videos with and about the Canon 90D, the Canon M50, the Canon EOS R, and the Canon R6. Alright, what do I talk about in this video? I don't know. No, I'm joking. I know perfectly what I'm gonna talk about and show you, of course. I'm gonna talk about one lens that everyone needs. It's a classic. It's the Canon 50mm f1.8, the Nifty 50. Here it is. So it's a great lens. It's actually the first prime I ever bought back when I started using my first camera. And then I use it on pretty much all my cameras. Why? Because I like its quality. And also when I use it on a full frame such as the Canon EOS R or Canon R6, I just love the field of view, like human eye view. Like its maximum aperture is f1.8, and that allows us to produce some awesome shallow depth of field, blurry background, and that's also thanks to its 7 aperture blades. But alright, without further ado, I'm gonna put this lens on, and I don't know if I'm gonna do it here, but anyway, let's see what this lens looks like when we shoot from the Canon R6 and the adapter, because this is not the RF version, it's the EF. So I'll be using the Canon adapter to adapt EF and EFS lenses on the RF mount, such as the Canon EOS R and R6 and so on. So the Canon EF 50mm f1.8 on the Canon R6 with the adapter. Yeah, 1 second. And here it is. The Canon R6 with the Canon EF 50mm f1.8. But wait a minute, I think you can't hear anything, or I mean, it's kind of far. I mean, not far. It's like 6 feet away, like 5 feet, let's say 5. Yeah, I'm gonna try with a different microphone. Okay, 1 second. Okay, now I'm using a lavalier microphone, wireless, and here it is. The Canon EF 50mm f1.8 EF, not RF, I say it again, because this is the one I have and it works fine for me. I'm really happy with it, so I never really consider buying the RF version, because they say, yeah, you don't have to use the adapter with it, but what's the big deal? I mean, adapter is like this, like now. You're not seeing the full potentials of this lens, of the Nifty 50. Why? The aperture is set to f/22 because right now the sun is really shiny, like so bright. Therefore, I have to close the aperture. But I want to show you this lens at a better aperture to show you some shallow depth of field, a little bit at least. So I'm going to use a filter. 1 second. So right now shooting at f4. So the situation is a little bit better. Let me know what you think about it and leave a comment down below and hit the like button and check the links in the description to see all my gear stuff and things, my gear. And check the link to Epidemic Sound if you want 1 month of awesome music and great sound effects for free. Anyways, let's see if I can set it to f2.8 for example. I would like to show you also the f1.8, but let's see if my variable and the filter will be strong enough. We'll see. Now f2.8. So again, what do you think about it? The Canon R6 with the Nifty 50, f2.8, and also thanks to the variable and the filter I'm using, which is like a pair of sunglasses for the lens and allows me to use wider apertures even when there is so much light, when the sun is so shiny and bright. And to see which one it is, just check the links in the description. There, where you will find all my gear stuff and things. Now I'm gonna try to see if I can set it to f1.8 without overexposing it too much. And here it is, same lens, same camera, this time f1.8. And we should get a pretty good shallow depth of field. So, again, I would like to hear from you. Let me know what you think about it and leave a comment down below. Now I would like to show you the 120 frames per second in 1080 and the 4K 60 that the Canon R6 can produce with this lens, the Nifty 50, the EF version, not the RF, because I've been using this lens, this version for years, and I'm really happy with it. Even on the Canon EOS R or now on the Canon R6. I could get the RF version, but why? As I said, I'm really happy with this. I use it with the adapter, the Canon adapter that allows me to use EF and EFS lenses on RF mount cameras such as the R6, the EOS R, the R5 and so on. And it's not really a big deal for me. That's fine. The adapter is not like a 20 pounds thing or something like that. No, it's a tiny little thing. It's fine. So not a big deal. So now without further ado, I'm going to show you the 120 frames per second and the 4K 60 from the Canon R6 on the Nifty 50. Yeah. Alright, so what do you think about it? Leave a comment down below, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. But let me set it to f2 at least, to f2.8, yeah, like this, f2.8. I'm always afraid to be overexposed, even though I could fix it in post, I guess, because this camera is supposed to have a decent dynamic range, but I don't want to risk to overexpose everything. So, okay, this is the cheapest lens, well, actually the cheapest Canon lens you can buy. And I believe everyone needs it. Photographers and video makers. Even though it's not the sharpest lens in the world, it does its job and it kind of makes everything look more pretty or something like that. What do you think about it? Alright, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm going back home, and my wife and my son went by public transport, the tramway, and I'm walking, and I want to see who arrives first. So I'm walking, so I'm, you know, I have a little disadvantage, but I'm gonna take a shortcut. Alright, so I arrived, I'm here, and my wife and my son are not here yet. So I win. Wait a minute. Yes, you're upstairs. I didn't win.